Hiya, babes, and welcome back to another episode of Thanks for Stopping By. Oh, Lord, y'all. I think today, this is, I can definitively say, without a doubt, this is officially the weirdest fucking recording setup I've had to do. So, yeah, just to give you an idea of what I'm working with right now. For those of y'all who have listened for a minute here, I've explained on the show that I recently had to move back into my mom's house due to some personal things, and with the advent of that, with the that new sort of setup that I situation, I guess is the word. I lost my recording space, and it's really difficult to record in my room, especially because there's a lot of people in the house, and also my girlfriend, Ryan, lives with me now, and I just have way too much performance anxiety, weirdly enough, to record a solo podcast in front of someone. So I am now sitting in the back seat of my car with my microphone set up on a little desktop stand on top of my cup holders. I have those those swing down cup holders that you can push up to make it like a middle seat. I have it sitting on that. And it's real fucking weird in here. It's a weird feeling. And also just a weird feeling to be recording alone again. Like I said, if for those of y'all who've listened for a minute, the past couple weeks, I've had guests on the show. I had a pal of mine, Brandon Kaguyong, on the show 2 weeks in a row because we just recorded so much content together. And then last week, Ryan was on the show. And yeah, so I haven't done this alone in a minute. And actually, speaking of my wife Ryan, for those of y'all who listened to that episode, or I guess for those of y'all who didn't, we announced something pretty cool that's coming out soon, and that is our new podcast, Saffron Sapphics, which should be coming out pretty soon here. We're just kind of getting everything squared away and getting ready to launch that. I'm hoping to have a launch date by next week's episode of this podcast. But yeah, we're launching a new podcast together, and I'm really, really excited for that. And if you want to go check out that episode we did on this channel, we talked about Annie, the 2014 remake of Annie, and how everyone who dislikes that movie kind of has some racist reasons why, at least in the sort of reviewer-centric world we live in. But yeah, it's been a wild ride here, babes. I do want to also apologize for the last couple months of the show, at least November, December. I have had a couple of weeks where I missed uploads, and I'm still kicking myself in the ass a little bit for that. But it's been a busy one, to say the least. It's been pretty buck wild out here, and personal life has gotten a lot to deal with, and sometimes you just gotta take a mental health break, babes. But I'm hoping that that's all good and squared away, and I can get back to doing my weekly uploads like I have been. So yeah. Other than that, I'm still. Oh, there's another problem with recording in the car is that there's just everyone's deciding to do shit right outside the car, so I apologize for any background noise. Yeah, it's been a little tough to come up with things to talk about because there's not been much going on. Rona's still going strong. She's hanging around longer than we thought, and not much has been happening. At least not much I want to talk about on the show. Obviously, like I said, there's been some personal life stuff going on, but as far as everything else goes, it's mostly just been me and Ryan. Just trying to get shit together and get rocking. Working on the podcast has been pretty cool. Being able to have a partner in that space and someone who's just as creative and passionate about art. She is herself an artist, and she's a really fucking cool and creative person, and it's been really awesome to kind of have someone who's as driven and passionate about making stuff, and it's been nice to kind of be with someone who recognizes that artist side of me and is completely supportive in that vein. And it's been cool kind of showing each other, stuff for the show, some of the stuff we want to talk about. And one of the things I've been showing her a lot is fucking Hell's Kitchen. I'm still on this fucking Hell's Kitchen shit. I don't know what it is. Like, it just we just finished season 7, which is fucking absurd. But yeah, it's just there's something about the show, right? Because here's the thing. Gordon Ramsay is absolutely a fucking asshole. Like, that's like his job, That's like the thing he's famous for. He's famous for being a fucking dickbag, right? And like, I absolutely recognize that. That's like his whole job. But like, there's something weirdly like cathartic about the show. Like, I don't know what it is, because I don't enjoy watching people get yelled at. It stresses me out. I get stressed out because I start thinking about the fact that, like, God, if I was trying to do cooking, which is something that's already super stressful, especially in a restaurant setting, and then there's just this fucking 6'2" bleach blonde hair fucking asshole yelling, calling me a donkey and shit, I'd have a fucking panic attack. I'd freak out. So, like, of course they're bad at cooking. They fucking can't focus because they got this dude just freaking out, throwing shit, and fucking kicking over garbage cans. And, it's insane. Like, to put it this way, I used to work in a restaurant. I was not a cook. I was actually a dishwasher. That was my first job I ever had. And one of the bosses was pretty similar to that, where he would come in and if something was out of order, he would just fucking flip out. Like, I remember there was one time, it was a totally slow ass day. It was one of those, like, fucking Tuesday night, not many people in the restaurant, so we're all just kind of hanging out. The dinner rush hasn't quite kicked off yet, and we're just fucking chilling. And then all of a sudden he comes in, and somebody had like left a bottle of fucking, a bottle of like fucking salad dressing or something, like out on the counter instead of putting it right back in the fridge because they were still making salad. And this dude comes in, and I got like one headphone in because I used to fucking this is really weird, but I used to listen to creepypastas when I did that job because it made the time go by faster listening to I don't know, I have a whole thing with Mr. Creepypasta, and like that's kind of like my ASMR, I guess. But I used to listen to that because it would help me de-stress during the job. And all of a sudden, over my peaceful, atmospheric, spoopy tale, I just hear like a fucking plate fly across the room. And, obviously everyone snaps to attention because we're like, what the fuck? We're thinking someone dropped a plate. We're trying to make sure they're okay. And I just see this like 4'3" dude, like, what the fuck? Who the fuck left a fucking salad dressing on the fucking shit? Fucking, he's just like freaking out. and everyone was so like just blown away. And I remember the friend of mine that worked at the restaurant, I went over to them and I was like, what the fuck was that about? And they were like, yeah, he does that all the time. And apparently that's just how he was. Like, to the point where he's like throwing pots and pans at people and shit. You know? And I was like, God, dude, how the fuck could anyone perform with that kind of anxiety? And here's the thing, right? Like, it was some chicken shit restaurant like where I live, you know? Like, I live in like fake bougie town, you know? So like, imagine, you know, like Hell's Kitchen, like everything's got to be exactly perfect all the time. And then you just got this fucking maniac running around throwing shit. He's throwing food at people. You know, he's like shoved fucking plates into them and shit. Dude's a fucking psychopath. And like, it sucks that all of his shows are so entertaining to watch because he's not a good dude. Let's be real. Like, and here's the thing, right? I'm sure he's a nice guy sometimes, because there are all these moments where it's like, oh, but he's actually really supportive when you do good, or, oh, you know, Kitchen Nightmares, the second half, he like helps the restaurants, you know, but like at the same time, like I get that positive reinforcement can only go so far, but like, my God, y'all, like I couldn't fucking work under that stress. Even so much so to the point where, here's a funny example, was sometimes I just like, I'll just put on Hell's Kitchen like clips, just if I like need something to listen to while I'm doing something else. And the other day I was like listening to Hell's Kitchen clips like I always do. And there was some clip from a new season where the guy, was basically like, he was up for elimination, and, you know, same format always. He goes, hey, what such and such, you know, why do you think you should stay in Hell's Kitchen? And the guy was like, Chef, honestly, like, I'm gonna be straight with you. I want to work for you and, like, you know, run a restaurant for you one day, but like, I don't think Hell's Kitchen is helping me get to that goal right now, because I want to like go home and like learn more and become more educated, and I just don't feel like I'm learning very much in this space. It's very stressful, and like, you know, I just don't think Hell's Kitchen is working for me and helping me grow as a chef. And he's like, what the fuck is your problem? You know, like, what the fuck, dude? And he like basically treats him like he's a fucking idiot who like doesn't want it bad enough, you know? And I'm like, dude, he's just telling you that it's not good for him. Like, he wants to become a better chef, and Hell's Kitchen's not doing that for him. Like, fucking respect that. And like, I absolutely felt that frustration, because that's something I get in the wrestling world all the time, right? This sort of attitude of like, well, fucking some people want it bad enough. And it's like, dude, not everyone has the means to drop their life and go for it and grind and all this shit. It's like, you know, like I said, that's something I get told with wrestling all the time. And it's so frustrating because you hear these old vets talk about, when I was your age, I dropped everything and I quit my job and I drove to Georgia twice a month for free and did ring crew just to show my face. And I'm like, yeah, dog, well, like, I don't have that opportunity. I gotta fucking work and make it, try and survive, dude. Like, I can't just drop everything and go fuck around. Like, not everyone has that option, you know? And even if they do, that doesn't work for everybody. Like, I don't have the fucking mental capacity or spoons to do that kind of shit. Like, you know, just, well, some people want it bad enough, you know, and it's like, sure, if that's how you want to read it, that I don't want it bad enough, then I guess I don't, because, you know, I have other shit going on in my life. You know, wrestling is not, it's this attitude of like, yeah, wrestling is everything to me. And it's like, no, wrestling is one of the things to me. You know what I mean? Like, wrestling is amazing, and I love it, and it's something I'm super passionate about and care for, and it's definitely a love of mine. But like, it is not the only thing I have in my life, and it is not something I'm willing to sacrifice it all for to because I want it bad enough. It's like, I have things that I need to do and people that I care about. I have a family. I have Ryan and Fluff. Like, I'm not just going to drop my life to go on a road trip to Georgia to go put up a ring for some company. Like, same thing with this podcast. Like, I love this podcast more than anything in the world. And podcasting is my favorite thing to do on the entire planet. But like, I can't just cut ties with my life to only do this unless it's something that's fully supporting me. And right now it's not, and one day if it is, and, wrestling and podcasting I'm able to like live off of it and give me and Ryan and Fluff a good life on it. And like, we can, survive off of it, then fuck yeah, that's what I'm going to do with my life. But like, right now it's not realistic because it's not happening that way. And so there's other avenues I have to do as well. And I think that's there's a middle ground to be found, right? Because I'm also not one of those people that wants to say like, oh, you got to have a backup plan, or, oh, you got to have something to fall back on. But I also think that, especially with someone like me who's, has multiple passions, as do a lot of people, like, you should explore all of those things. But you also need money to sustain shit like that. And it's unfortunate that it is that way, because we live in a world that's driven by money and capitalism and this sort of idea that you gotta work hard to make a living and da-da-da and all this shit. But that's unfortunately the world we live in right now. And as much as I want to push back against that, I need money to survive, and so I have to, do what I can to earn while doing the things I love and am passionate about, on the way to make these my living. Because that's the thing, right? It's not that I'm sitting here saying, fuck, these can never be my living, or you shouldn't pursue something you want to do as a living, right? Like, I think a common misquote, or maybe something that gets said that comes off the wrong way, is like, a lot of people will tell you, like, especially with podcasting, like all or content creating in general, everyone's first piece of advice is like, yeah, fucking, you can't get into it. You can't get into this field to make money, because if you get into this just to make money, then it'll never happen. And while I agree with that, like, you shouldn't get into something just to make money, but you can get into something you're passionate about and hope it makes money. Like, I don't think you should get in and get rid of all of your expectations and just say, fuck it, do whatever. Like, I want this to be my job. And so, I didn't get into podcasting because I thought it'd make me money. I got into podcasting because I love it and it's a passion of mine. So now I want to try and make money off of it. You know what I mean? There's a difference there, right? And I don't like this attitude of like, well, you just got to do it to do it, and you can't expect to make any money. And it's like, no, you absolutely should expect to make money off of your art. And you should drive and push if it's something you're passionate about, any type of art, right? Like, not just traditional art, but any kind of art you do, any kind of artist, whether that's performance art, content creating art, physical forms of art, any kind of art. If you're passionate about it, you should always strive to earn off of it, because you deserve to earn off of your art. Because I've always believed that people should support artists, because that's what we should do. It sucks that we constantly we have to support each other because other people won't. But like, if that's what we have to do, then that's what we have to do. So like, you should absolutely strive to make money off of your art and make a living off of your art. And whether that's selling physical forms of your art, performing for a certain amount of money, or creating a Patreon, or a fucking, creating stuff online with like things like OnlyFans, or like ManyVids, or, like cam sites, or, even, having your Cash App or Venmo and shit in your Twitter and saying like, hey, I make art, donate to me. Like, and you should always do shit like that. And on the opposite side of that, if you see other artists, especially queer artists and people of color who are artists, you should try and give back to them as well. Because again, like I said, we have to try and support each other. And I know it's hard, especially like, with financials, but even if it's as simple as pushing someone's art and saying, hey, I saw this thing and it's fucking sick, check it out, go give this a listen. Oh, a friend of mine did this, or, oh, this artist I like had this other person on, because you never know who's going to see it, A perfect example, a weird example, of how random shit can blow up, and like how randomly things can go, trickle down the line to get to really famous creators is one of my favorite YouTubers is a YouTuber named Curtis Connor. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him. He's one of my favorite creators. I think he's fucking hilarious. I love a lot of the work he does. He's actually what inspired me to start this podcast, because I started listening to his podcast, Very Really Good, and it showed me that if you can, like, doing a solo podcast is a thing, and that, it's honestly kind of cathartic to, like, sometimes just sit down in front of a microphone and talk. And I kind of got the confidence to do it listening to his podcast. So his shit's been really important to me. And recently, there was a video of these two twins called the Voros twins, and it was the video of them pronouncing the word Da Vinci. They pronounced it Da Vinci, and they're actually wrestlers from the Portland or Oregon area. I've seen them work before. I've been on shows with them before. So to see him reference them in a video was already pretty like, oh shit, that's cool. But then last week he had them on his podcast, and I was just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it was just so jarring to be like, I've like seen these people at DOA before. Like, I've met them before, or like been at shows where they were at. They wrestle for a company that I wrestle for, and now they're on one of my favorite creators' fucking podcasts. Like, a thing that is a dream of mine is to be on Very Really Good. And it was awesome. And like, that kind of shit is a perfect example of like how random like things can get to other creators. And like, the more you push other people's shit, the more likelihood it has of stuff like that. Another great example is one of my favorite comedy bands, Ninja Sex Party. I love them. I watched Game Grumps for a long, long time, and they still hold a special place in my heart. And Ninja Sex Party also holds a very special place in my heart. And one of their big first pushes in subs was Donald Glover. Like, this was like right when he was like still on Community, and like his stand-up was like blowing up pretty good. And I think he was doing Childish Gambino at the time still. And he's I guess he like came from the same comedy school that Dan went to. And so he found out about their music video for the song The Decision, and he just like retweeted it and was like, hey, this shit's hella funny, like, go check it out. And they gained like a fuck ton of subs from that. And then that's what like turned Aaron onto it. And now Dan has a fucking career like doing this shit. He can do his music and all of his favorite like art for his life. Like, he's fucking making more than a living on this shit, all because, you know, like, he pushed it, and, you know, it got to someone who used their platform to plug that kind of shit. So, you know, I think it's really important to kind of share those things around, and really, really, really try to, you know, get those things out there, because, you know, people who have platforms can make a difference. And people who have a bigger platform should try and do kind of stuff like that. How many times have the average person, like, found an artist they love because of another artist they love, you know? Like, oh, I only found out about them because they are friends with this person. Da 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 da. You know, a perfect example is one of my favorite rappers is a guy named Rav. I had no fucking idea who he was until I heard him on Super Mega. And now I like Beneath the Toxic Jungle is like one of my favorite albums. So, you know, it's that simple. And, you know, I don't have like the largest platform in the world, but I always want to try and, you know, use my voice for anything positive I can, you know. And that's the thing too. Like, if you're listening to this and you have shit, like I said, I know I don't have like the largest platform in the world, but like, if you want to share something, like, fucking send it my way, and I'll try and like retweet it on Twitter, or like shout it out on the show if I can, and you know, do as much as I can, because like I said, we have to support each other. You know, I think that's so important. And in any way I can do that, you know, I wanna do, because I like stuff. I like cool shit, you know? I love art, and fucking any kind of art, and cool shit. So if you want to share your fucking project, like, then please, by all means, I'll do everything I can to share it, because like, more of that stuff should exist. You know, and I want to highlight like queer artists and artists of color like as much as I can. Just like I want to push my stuff out there, and grow my platform, and make this my living one day, you know? Jesus fucking Christ. Wow. That got that got way deeper than I meant it to. Holy shit. I'm sorry, y'all. Well, that was super deep. Ooh, is that my Amazon package? Let's watch this happen in real time. Did anyone forget that I was in my car? Oh, I see the Amazon truck. I ordered a case of key lime pie energy drinks. Oh no, it drove away. No, come back. I want my fucking key lime pie drink. Fuck. Well, hopefully I'll get those later. Sorry, that was completely I'm like a fucking squirrel. I literally just like I meant a dog looking at a squirrel. I don't know, y'all. It's getting hot in here. I'm feeling a little more manic because I got all deep and then immediately thought about drinking a key lime pie energy drink. But yeah. Well, this was a fun one, y'all. I'm glad I got to come on here and get all emotional and deep and talk about art, man, you know, and it was fun. Well, I appreciate y'all so much for listening. Like I said, I am hoping to be back to my every week, once a week uploads. I'm feeling a lot better about it, especially now that I tested out this in the car sort of format. But yeah, so we should be ready to rock, and we should be ready to roll and get back to business as usual. You know, go follow all the tweeters and the Instagrams and the Patreon. I have a Patreon, which you can go sub to if you want, and support my podcast, because it means the world to me if you want to support me. But But yeah, I appreciate y'all listening so much. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, me and my lovely wife, Ryan, have a podcast launching pretty soon called Saffron Sapphics. I'm super duper excited for the first couple episodes that we got planned out and ready to go. So that should be coming out soon, and I should hopefully have a launch date for you on the next episode. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And most importantly, thanks for stopping by.